Chosen vessels, what's the deal? It's your main man, Druuill, and I'm back at you again with another video. I need each and every vessel to hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe. Shout out to the Galactic family, the GCVs, and of course, Drew Nation. Let's get right into it. Evil spirits were aware of your destiny before you were, and it had them in their feelings because their knowledge of it. Let's get right into it. Most of the people you had run-ins with throughout your journey were slightly aware of who you were and who you were going to become. The people who hated you for no reason, they knew that you were going somewhere. They knew that you had a destiny. They knew that you would one day become something great. They already saw that you had greatness in you, but they didn't want you to know. And the fact that you slightly had an idea of it may not have had an idea of it totally, but you had a slight little arrogance with you, not a disrespectful arrogance, but you had some confidence with you. You know, you were confident. You had a real strong level of self-esteem. Some might perceived as arrogant, but you always felt good about yourself. You always were a positive person. You talk to anybody, no matter what they look like, who they were. You always had a personality that people gravitated towards. And the people who didn't really appreciate who they were or like themselves had low key beef with you because you always appreciated yourself. You always liked who you were. You always had somewhat a level of confidence that made certain people feel insecure, maybe even inferior about who they were. And when you would get around those people, you guys would be like fire and water, oil and water. You wouldn't mix. Vegetarian and a carnivore, it wouldn't mix. And the fact that you didn't have any problem with them and they were the only ones that had the problem, it made things even worse because not only did they not like you, but they had to be around you with you not knowing that they may not have liked you like that. You always had a uplifted spirit, and early on you may not have been able to tell if people really didn't rock with you like that because a lot of times people are fake and they like to hide that. So how could that be your fault? But through their actions and how they treated you and how they acted towards you, you were able to pick that up like, oh, I think this person got a problem. And you were able to then start to see and sharpen your intuition and your discernment and be more aware of the people around you. But the thing is, they were slightly, if not all the way 100% aware of you and your destiny. They always knew that you would end up leaving them behind. So, and that's their thinking in their mind. If somebody would roll with you, if somebody would have been cool with you, if somebody would have been a real friend, they would still be in your vicinity. You wouldn't have had to detach yourself from someone if they weren't being authentic, if they weren't being 100%, if they weren't being true. But a lot of people, they end up getting in their feelings around people that are the ones that we're explaining, talking about in this video, and they end up throwing shade. They end up throwing shade at you. They end up dissing you, you know, they end up being passive aggressive towards you and nonchalantly coming at your neck. All right, there's no way you could nonchalantly come at a person's neck without them feeling the negative vibes, right? without them feeling the negative energy. That's why all your friendships were always weird. People that you tried to associate with, you always felt a bad vibe from them. You always had bad anxiety around people that you thought were of your variety, you know, and you really didn't find yourself being able to mix and commingle with your peers or other socialites. You would always notice that you would be around people and there would be some static in between you and them. The vibe would be off. And then let another person come around. Oh, yo, what's up? Perfect handshake, dap it up. You know what I'm saying? They'd actually want to see this person and you weren't hating on them because they did a perfect handshake. You actually thought that was cool. You're like, yo, where's mine at? And they just looked at you like, anyway, that's neither here nor there. But that's how people would treat us. You know, that's how people would like to treat people like us, because they saw that we had something greater in us. They saw that we had something better going on. They saw that we had something going for us. And the fact that when other people would come around who weren't like us, they would feel some type of commonality. They would feel that they were now on common ground instead of competition. When they're around you, see, they were in competition mode. People have been in competition with you your whole entire life, and you may not even have just picked up on it until recently, until you were actually able to connect some dots, figure some things out, and put some things together. Because before, you thought people were just acting weird around you. Why is everybody acting like this around me? Why do people always try to beat me or try to like do things before I can do it, or just like all types of little weird stuff? You know, you weren't able to label it as competition right then and there. You just knew that people acted a little strange and a little funny around you. But it's because they had to make up for how you made them feel. All right, you weren't aware of these things. You were just going through your every regular everyday life, back to your regular scheduled programming, and you were just living your life. And but the one thing you did realize is that people would change up when other people came around you. You always realized that the one thing that stood out was that you weren't able to really connect with people like that. But you probably always had God in your life. You always probably talked to God, always prayed a lot, always had God on your side, always had Jesus on your side, things like that, talking to God, talking to your higher self, talking to your higher power, all right, talking to the Most High, all right. And you always had that connection, you know, and you never really were able to connect with people like that, but now you understand why. You had a greater connection with God than you had with other people. Other people could feel that. That's why they would be acting awkward around you and not want to be around you for long, and you wouldn't really be able to make friends with people like that. You know, you would find yourself by yourself a lot of times. People would look at you and think like, oh, okay, let's try to associate with this person. Let's try to talk to this person. Because when you're by yourself and you start to not see anything wrong with it, or you're not totally aware, you're just living your life and you're not aware that you're alone, you're not aware that you're by yourself, you're not aware that you're isolated, you're just looking at it as there's some people over here and I'm over here, you know. And if you're like a scapegoat kind of person, or if like this has been happening to you, even maybe some of your family members have treated you like this, then it's just normal to you. All right, if you have been excluded like your whole life kind of thing, it's just normal to you. You're just used to not having people around you. If this happened in your like childhood group of friends, you're just used to not having people around you. You're just used to being by yourself because they really didn't want your company like that. They really ain't rock with you like that. They ain't want nothing to do with you like that. They thought you was weird. All right, they thought you was awkward. They didn't want nothing to do with you. You gave them a eerie feeling, you know. But it was because the presence of God in your life. But And also, not only that, it's because the destiny that God placed on your life. People, whether they knew you had a destiny or not, they always knew that it was something different about you. They always knew that it was something special, something unique. They knew that you would end up being something. They weren't sure what it was, but they knew you had a path in life early on. All right. People that were your friends, people that were in your social circle, people you went to school with, all right, people that were at your job, and they were just able to tell about the type of person that you were destiny wise. And some of them, unfortunately, were evil spirits. And they were in their feelings. All right. That's why you would have a little, and that's why you would have altercations with people. That's why you would always butt heads with people, and you would wonder why. Like, why am I having these issues with people and I not causing any problems? I'm just here. It was because not only were you here, but your destiny was there too. Not only were you there, your level, your little small, little teeny tiny level of success was there too. And people saw it on you. They could feel it on you that you were going to be successful. They always knew that you were special. You probably always felt special yourself. You always probably knew that you were going to be successful yourself. Be honest. All right. You don't have to, you ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie. All right. You always knew that you were going to be successful, and you always knew that you were going to be well off in life. You didn't know when it was going to happen. You didn't know how it was going to happen. But even when you were a little kid riding on the bus back and forth to school, when nobody on the bus wanted to talk to you, when none of the kids really wanted to talk to you, when nobody wanted to be your friend kind of thing, you would always, and you had friends and stuff like that, you had friends, but it's just you realized that it was still like something was off, you realized it was something different about you and everybody else. And you always knew when you were riding on the bus and things like that, that you were always going to be successful. You probably would sit and think about like what you were going to do when you got older and how you were going to live your life. You just didn't know when it was going to happen. Then when you got older, you started living life and going through life, and you're like, yo, when I feel it. I feel it, but where is it coming from? When's it going to come? How is it going to happen? These are things that we may have been caught up on or worried about, but shouldn't really necessarily have been focused on, But when you're younger, you don't know that until you gain more wisdom and experience and have to figure these things out. You may not have known that certain things were going to happen for you in life, but you always knew that you would one day reach a certain level of success. And the thing is, the fact that you knew that, other people were able to see that too. All right. That's why people acted weird towards you. That's why people would act weird around you. And that's why you would have issues with people in certain instances where you think it's nothing that you're doing. It's like, yo, I'm not doing anything wrong. What's the problem? The problem was you being around them and them not liking what they saw in you because they didn't feel that way about themselves. People want to feel that way about themselves. People want to know that it's going to be something that happens for them in their life. People want to know, you know, that they're going somewhere. And when you're at certain places with other people and they're around, they're going to want to associate with other people who they feel comfortable associating with. They're going to want to talk to people who they feel they have something in common with. They're going to want to talk to people who they feel that they resonate with. And that's totally cool. That's all right. I never really saw it as like a problem. I just wondered when like it would change kind of thing. And then eventually I just started to get used to it, and I just started to just roll dolo, at a really early age, at a really young age. I just knew that, I'm just going to be chilling. And it carried over into like being an adult and things like that and getting grown. And I'm like, okay, this wasn't going to change, huh? All right, cool. I accept it for what it is, but people can see that you're going to become something. People can see that you're going somewhere. People can see that something special is on you, and that you're going to be something, and that something special is going to happen in your life for you. All right. People know that. People see that. They're never really going to tell you that these things are going to happen for you in your life. It's just something that you have to be patient for and just wait for. But if you've always felt special, if you've always felt unique, if you've always felt that something good was going to happen to you, if you always felt like you were going to be rich, if you always felt like you were going to be successful, then this is your confirmation, because it's going to happen. You don't know when it's going to happen, but things are going to happen for you. All right. Don't worry about how, don't worry about when. Just know that your level of success is going to reach you. You're going to end up becoming something. So don't worry. But a lot of evil people will try to get in your way because of jealousy. All right. The fact that you feel like this, the fact that you feel good, the fact that you're thinking about these things. People see you daydreaming. They know they're not talking to you. They know you're over there thinking about certain things, and they know that you're over there thinking about your life and contemplating and stuff like that. But they don't want to be around someone like that. You make people feel uncomfortable because it's like they feel left out. Nobody wants to feel left out. It's like going to a party and then having to stand outside and listen to everybody party. But the thing is, you're included in God's plan for your life. And that's why certain people excluded you early on in life, because of the divide, the difference between you and them. They could feel that energy coming off of you. They could feel something good about you. And, when people don't feel this type of energy on themselves, when people don't see this kind of thing within themselves, it makes them exclude you. It makes them not want anything to do with you, because just like how you might have felt left out because other people would only talk to you for a little bit and then not want to talk to you, or, try to use you for your energy, come around you to be seen talking to you, and then once they get around you and they see the difference between you and them, they're like, I don't really feel comfortable around this person. I don't want to really be around this person, kind of thing. It's like they feel the same way. They feel excluded in success. They feel excluded in having a plan for their life, God having a plan for their life. They feel excluded in the realm of greatness. They feel excluded in feeling good about themselves. You were probably always a happy person. As long as you could think, as far as you could think back, you were probably like one of the most happiest people that you knew. You probably so happy and always smiling all the time that people wanted to try to probably knock that smile off your face. You probably felt so good. But it is what it is. You have to realize that you were this type of person for a reason, because you always low key knew that something good was going to happen to you, and that something great was going to happen for you. All right. And not everybody feels like this. All right. Not everybody feels like this. If you're watching this video, I know you feel like that. I know you feel where I'm coming from. I know you're picking up what I'm putting down. All right. Maybe you were cool in school. Shout out to you if you were. I ain't hating on you. That's what's up. You probably had all the friends in the world, probably had a million friends. That's what's up. But things were a little different for me. And I had my little group of friends or whatever, but I always could like see little differences and notice little things and be like, oh, okay, it's a difference between the way they interact with each other versus the way they interact with me. And when you don't understand, it kind of like makes you feel a certain type of way, but you just don't get it. But I mean, you're too young to really fully be affected by it, because you really don't understand. So as long as you're aware now and you know why now, of course, I mean, you can't go back in the past, so that's all that matters anyway. But it's important that you know now, because now you're in the position to be able to do something with your life. Then you couldn't really do anything, you ain't really have no control over your life, kind of thing. You was a kid, you were just growing up, learning, figuring things out, but now, 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 All right, now as a adult, now as a grown person, all right, you're able to see things a little bit more clear. God done gave you more understanding. All right, you done learned some things. You done found some things out. All right, by the grace of God, you done studied some things. You done figured some things out. Now you see why things were the way they were, and now you see why things are the way they are. And I just touched on, a brief little segment of the past just to touch and explain on the present, just so I could expound on that. But same kind of thing happens like in job environments, work environments, with family, friends, stuff like that. Like people kind of look at you a little off, they look at you a little strange kind of thing, but it's because you have somewhere to go. It's because you have somewhere to be in life. You have a calling, you have a purpose, and not everybody is aware of theirs. Not everybody feels good about themselves like you do. Not everybody's going to have that level of self-esteem. So when you have a high level of self-esteem, when you feel good about yourself, there are going to be people who want to come test that. They're going to want to be people who come try to stop that, try to knock that, try to replace it with how they want you to feel. And you got to fight back. You have to not let evil try to take over your life and try to snatch your joy from you. And the devil can't steal your joy. All right. What the world didn't give you, the world can't take it away. And once you realize that, it's more of a you thing than a them, they, and everybody else kind of thing. People can be as evil as they want to be, but once you realize that there's no power outside of yourself except within your very own mind, and you can reject a negative thought whenever you want and replace it with another one, DJ Salad, another one. All right. You can replace negative thoughts. People want to try to come around you and impregnate your mind with their little negative thoughts and stuff. All right. They want to try to implant little bad seeds in your mind, and it's only because they see you feeling good about yourself. They see you thinking good about yourself. All right, they see you feeling like you're on top of the world, and this is before anything even happened for you. This is before you even knew you was going to like fully become successful. This might have even been when things weren't, you still might not be there yet. All right, we all still trying to get somewhere, but um definitely y'all still trying to get somewhere. But things when like you didn't have a clue, when you just felt good and you were like, why do people treat me like this? Why am I going through things like this? Why is everybody acting different towards me? Why do I feel like I don't fit in, or why I can't get along, or why I can't, it's nothing that you are doing personally. It's just that that's how it is when people notice something that's on you, that's in you, and that's not in them or on them. It's like it's like the smartest kid in the class kind of thing. People would not tend to appreciate the smartest kid in the class because it's like, hey, you're doing better than me. I never had an issue per se with the smartest kid in the class. I just remember like, yo, my mom came to school one day and I was like, yo, mom, that's the smartest kid in the class. And she was like, Drew, don't say that. Like, yo, my memory's on point, man. Um, some people call that a gift. Some people call that a curse. I remember I had this older lady when I was working at the grocery store. She came in the line. She was like, you have a good memory. And she was like, said it in kind of like a optimistic, like not optimistic. She said it in like a pessimistic kind of way. It wasn't like the most optimistic kind of way. And I was just like, kind of made me think. I'm like, that's kind of like a gift and a curse, like a good and a bad kind of thing. But I always see it as a good thing. Having a good memory is definitely a good thing, or you definitely want to affirm that you have a good memory. Sidebar: even if your memory is not that well, don't put no pills in you. Just tell yourself you have a good memory, and that thing will get back in shape. It's just like working out. All right. When you don't use your muscles, all right, they're not going to work that well. When you don't try to remember things, you're not going to be remember your memory is not going to be memory. And also when people start to get more experienced and more wisdom, they be like, oh man, this ain't working, that ain't working. Oh, it ain't what it used to be. It's only gonna get worse when you say that. But anyway, just a sidebar. But you always knew that you were special. You always knew you had greatness in you. You always knew there was something special about you. And throughout your life, a lot of people, it brought the evil out of them. It made people be aware of who you were before you were. And a lot of people would take that out on you. No, you'd be trying to work at your job, and people would make it difficult for you to work there because they always knew that you were going to be doing more than that. All right. Imagine having to be stuck at a job you hate, and you're working with somebody, and it's like, that this person is going places, that this person is going somewhere. And it's not anybody could go places, anybody could go somewhere. It's just that some people's destiny is preordained. All right, everybody can become successful. Everybody can choose to be something in life. But some people, God got the hand on their life. Some people were chosen for specific things. Some people were chosen for a specific purpose. Some people have God's hand on their life, and some people are preordained to be something in life. It's just people can tell. People can look at them. It's like the kid that's walking around. It's like any of these kids that you see on the internet today, like that little kid that was running and racing, and then now he's running track. Or you see a kid that's like hitting a ball, t-ball, farther than a child should hit a ball. Or it's like Floyd Mayweather's son. He's always boxing and stuff like that. He's definitely going to be a boxer. You could look at him and tell he was preordained to be a boxer. Or you could look at the child that's always in the car, like that little girl that's in the car with her dad, and she's always like singing music and stuff like that. People probably look at her and can tell, obviously, like, okay, she's going to be a music artist. Like, it's just as simple as that. You feel special and you feel good because you have something that that you can do. Or you feel special and you feel good because you just know there's something that you're going to do. Like me particularly, I always felt that something good was going to happen to me. When it does happen, I'll feel even more better. But while I'm waiting for it and while I'm working towards it, I like I said, I still feel good. And some people don't appreciate that good energy. So it's like when you actually get to where you're going, you probably really gonna have to stay away from folks. But that's why they say, it's lonely at the top, but you eat better. All right. And it's lonely at the top, but you eat better. All right. So you're gonna be eating real well. All right. Then you'll still have some people to eat with. But it is what it is. To whom much is given, much is concerned. So I hope I said that right. But it is what it is. Like you've been given a lot, so you have to deal with what comes with it. You have to deal with what comes with being who you were specifically person. All right, now specifically chosen to be. All right, there we go. I knew I was going to get it. But it is what it is. Not everybody's going to appreciate a person that is upbeat, uplifted, positive, that feels good. Some people, they don't know nothing about that. Some people, all they know is negativity. Some people, all they know is how to be a negative person. And a lot of people were just programmed like this due to living in certain situations. All right. Depending on the situation people grew up in, the people they grew up around, it takes a strong minded person. Like that's why I said, even as a child, man, when you have people that are acting different towards you because of who you are, and you can see it, it's only God. Why you didn't change, why you didn't turn into some corrupt individual, why you didn't become some negative, toxic person, why it didn't it rubbed off on you enough to give you wisdom and the understanding, but God didn't let it rub off enough on you to change you per se and turn you into one of them. So you got to be grateful for that. And if you don't feel like you have anything, if you don't feel like you're getting there, if you don't feel like you know where you're going, at least you have that. All right. And you have to cultivate those feelings to where you felt like, yo, you know what? I can do something. I can be something. Something is always felt that, something will come in my life, and I'm not going to let that go just because it hasn't come yet. And the more you hold on to it and the more you realize that it's coming, it will get there. And that's what we're all doing. We're all focusing on what we want to come into our life, so eventually it will. All right, I know I am, and you should too. Focus on what you want so it could come into your life, so that way we could all get there when we get there. And only God knows when we're going to get there, but we will get there. All right, so keep believing in yourself, keep staying a positive person, and don't allow things to put a burden on your spirit. All right, put your burdens down. All right, carry your cross and put your burdens down. All right. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Smash the like button, smash the share button, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, love, and light. We out.